I just don't feel happy anymore, she told me. No real reason, no major fights. Just those words, like they were supposed to explain everything. I asked her what was wrong, what we could do to fix things. She sighed and shrugged, saying she just needed time. So instead of chasing after someone who wasn't sure about me, I let her go. And when she realized I wasn't going to beg, she came running back. My wife and I had been together for years. We had our ups and downs, but I always thought we were solid. I thought we were happy. Then, out of nowhere, she sat me down and said, "I just don't feel happy anymore." I asked her what had changed. Was it something I did? Was she stressed? She shook her head. "I don't know. I just feel different." At first, I panicked. I tried everything. I took her out more, gave her more attention, reminded her of all the things we had built together. But nothing worked. No matter what I did, she seemed more distant. So one day, instead of chasing after someone who didn't know if she wanted me, I stopped trying. That's when everything changed. The moment I stopped chasing, something shifted. I no longer asked if she was okay. I didn't go out of my way to make her feel special. I wasn't waiting for her to decide whether she wanted me or not. And that's when she started acting differently. She started texting me out of the blue, asking where I was. She suddenly cared about what I was doing when she used to ignore me. She got irritated when I wasn't home on time, even though she was the one who wanted space. One night, she walked into the room and hesitated before speaking. "You've been really distant lately," she said. I looked up from my book and shrugged. "I'm just giving you the space you wanted." For the first time, she looked worried. She had expected me to fight for her, to beg her to stay, to keep proving that I was worthy. But instead, I was moving on without her, and she couldn't handle it. At first, she tried to ignore it. She convinced herself that I was just upset, that I was giving her the cold shoulder, and that eventually I'd come crawling back. But the more time passed, the more she started to panic. She suddenly wanted to spend more time together. She asked me if I still loved her. She started bringing up old memories, things she once acted like she didn't care about. One night, she sat next to me on the couch, fidgeting with her hands. "Do you still love me?" she asked softly. I turned to look at her, my face calm. "Why does it matter now?" I asked. She blinked, caught off guard. "I just feel like we're growing apart," she admitted. I let out a small laugh. "You're the one who wanted space," I reminded her. "I'm just respecting your decision." That's when I saw it, the regret in her eyes. She had expected me to wait. She had expected me to cling to her, to fight for her attention. But instead, I had let her go, and now she was the one chasing me. Her regret was obvious now, but something still felt off. She wasn't just missing me. She was hiding something. Then, like clockwork, the truth revealed itself. One night, she left her phone on the table while she went to grab a drink. It wasn't locked. I wasn't even looking for anything, but a message popped up. "I miss you. When can I see you again?" My chest tightened, but I didn't react. I just stared at the screen, finally understanding what this was all about. She didn't want space because she needed time to think. She wanted options. She wanted the security of my love while exploring something else. And now that she realized I wasn't waiting in the background, she was losing everything. That's when it hit me. She never thought she'd lose me. But now she already had. I didn't say anything that night. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask who he was, because it didn't matter anymore. Instead, I did something that terrified her more than anything. I stayed completely calm. I started focusing on myself. I stopped making an effort for someone who had already betrayed me. I no longer cared about fixing something that she had already broken, and she felt it. One night, as I was getting ready to leave, she stood in the doorway, watching me. "Where are you going?" she asked, her voice uncertain. "Out," I said simply. She swallowed hard. "With who?" I smirked. "Why do you care?" Her face fell. I don't want us to fall apart," she admitted, her voice trembling. I exhaled, shaking my head. "We didn't fall apart," I said coldly. You walked away, and now I'm doing the same." Her breath hitched. She reached out, desperate, panicked. "Please," she whispered. "I don't want to lose you." I looked her in the eyes and said the words that shattered her world. "You already did." And with that, I walked away for good. She stood there, frozen, her lips parted as if she wanted to say something to stop me, to beg me to stay. But for the first time, her words had no power over me. I didn't turn back. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed my keys and walked out the door. And that's when it happened. She broke. "Wait!" she cried, stepping forward, her voice cracking with desperation. "Please, just talk to me." But there was nothing left to say. She had her chance. She made her choice, and now she had to live with it. I heard her sob as I stepped outside. But I didn't stop because for the first time in a long time I was finally free. She stayed in that house, trapped in a moment she could never undo. She would text, she would call. She would try to fix what she shattered, but I would never answer. Because I had realized something: she never wanted space. She wanted options. She wanted the security of my love while she explored something else. And when that failed, she thought I would still be there. But I wasn't. I was already gone. For the rest of her life, she would live with the one truth that haunted her the most. She lost me. And this time, there was no coming back. If someone asks for space, give it to them. And when they realize what they lost, let them drown in the regret they created.